BCAAs, are they a bunch of BS? Welcome to part 4 of our supplement education series, where we look at supplements and supplement ingredients, some claims out there about them, and we see what the research literature has to say about it. Helps initiate protein synthesis. Supports muscle strength and delays fatigue. Muscle growth, enhance recovery, improve athletic performance, reduce fatigue. Build and preserve muscle, fast recovery, rebalances hormones. Looking at muscle strength and size here first, there are 3 BCAAs, by the way, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, and we consider leucine the most important for muscle outcomes. This study gave either leucine or placebo to trained men for 12 weeks while they lifted. And important to note, they consumed 1.6 grams of protein per kilo, which is considered high protein for regular people compared to the RDAs, but it's really not that high if you're training. And in this study, there was no difference in strength or body composition outcomes between the placebo and the leucine. What about in untrained individuals? Here we have 8 weeks of training with either placebo or a BCAA supplement in untrained individuals. And again, we see no difference in strength or body composition outcomes. Not looking hot for muscle strength and size. What about protein synthesis? In the study, we had 8 trained individuals each come in for 4 different lifting sessions. And after the lift, they either got a placebo, leucine, BCAAs, or EAAs, essential amino acids. We call them essential because they're the ones that your body cannot produce itself. You have to consume them through food. And in this study, they took muscle biopsies, which is basically like punching a little chunk out of your muscle. What they found was greater activation of mTOR, which is important for stimulating muscle protein synthesis. But BCAAs didn't have the greatest effect. Actually, the EAAs had the greatest, followed by the BCAAs, followed by the leucine, followed by the placebo. And since EAAs had that effect, we would interpret it as any high-quality whole protein source would have a greater effect. As far as recovery, we do see some evidence of reduced perceived soreness and small decreases in creatine kinase levels at different time points, which we interpret as a marker of muscle damage. You see that across a few other studies. It's a little hit or miss on the exact time markers and how much of a difference there really is. So there is some potential benefit here. What about taking BCAAs on a cut to maintain mass and strength? You'd probably look at this title and think it's going to be good. But this is the only study I've seen showing any positive benefit of BCAAs in trained individuals in a deficit. But unfortunately, this study had some questionable methods and some very strange statistics. In this supposed 8 week of cutting, the BCAA group didn't actually lose any weight. They just gave participants a diet to follow and trusted they were going to actually do it without measuring it. Not sure how this one slipped through the cracks, but we're just going to toss it out. Back to our claims here. Yes, better than nothing, but worse than a whole protein source. No, and what does that even mean? No. Maybe if these people are talking about soreness, again, potentially if we're talking about that soreness and muscle damage, but a very small effect. No, again, maybe, depends what you mean. What? So are BCAAs BS or the real deal? Mostly BS.